Am I on?
You're on.
Okay, good. So, the reason why I got this digital recorder to make copies of the stories about Grandpa was because there were some people that couldn't be at the funeral, and I wanted them to feel like they were right there. So my hope is that anyone who watches this that wants to add a memory about Grandpa Roy, please feel free to do so. My memory about Grandpa Roy, he told me when he was living in the care facility up in Ada. I said, what's something interesting that's happened to you? And he said, well, I've been struck by lightning 3 times. And he made it sound like it was no big deal. And I said, well, what was the first time? What happened there? And he said he was out in the field working, and there was a storm, and he worked too long, and he went under a tree, and the tree and himself got struck by lightning. He said the second time he couldn't remember, but he knew he had gotten struck by lightning. And the third time was when he was standing next to his truck, and the lightning ricocheted off the truck onto him. And I gotta tell you, I don't know many people that have been struck by lightning one time, and I certainly didn't know up till then that I knew someone that had been struck by lightning 3 times. And he also volunteered to tell me that he didn't like egg salad sandwiches. Yeah, I think I was trying to find out what kind of breakfast food he wanted. And he's, egg salad? No egg salad sandwich. And he told me about how Grandma, or Laverne, would make him an egg salad sandwich, and when he was working out in the field, and it would be in his lunchbox. And when he opened his lunchbox at lunch, it just had this horrific stench to it because it had been sitting in the hot truck all morning. Mike's making gagging sounds as I tell this story.
I can picture it.
Yeah, I could too, so I think I would swear off of egg salad sandwiches myself. So there you go, Grandpa Roy. Thanks for the memories. No, you didn't know it was a long time ago. You left home when?
When I was 18, like everybody else.
Yep.
I was drafted.
Okay.
And I lived there, only lived at home, in between things. Since I got married at 21, I really haven't lived here since.
I suppose.
And so, my connection with Ada ended at that point.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
That's right. So we come back, and have the kids baptized and show them off and things like that.
Right.
And, of course, my wife's family lives here, too.
Right.
So we were up here in that, to be parts of their activities.
Well, that is a real close if you're looking at it.
I want to make sure I get his voice.
Something that he knows.
Okay, I want to make sure, though, I get your voice. So that's why I'm holding it up here. Okay, so go ahead. Tell me a story about your dad.
Well, I was the gopher, being the oldest.
Okay.
So when I got my driver's license, I go for this and go for that.
Okay.
And my job was transporting equipment between him and Uncle Chucky and the Blazes, but mostly Uncle Chucky.
Oh, sure.
So I'd drive down the highway with tractors, and this was before driver's licenses.
Okay.
So in Minnesota, I don't know if the same, but you would get your driver's license at 15, because I was driving
If
trucks.
you're on the family farm, you
and
can.
I was driving trucks before then.
Okay.
When I became strong enough to be able to push the clutch in,
Yes.
I drove trucks and equipment in the field.
Wow.
And that was very common and very typical of that age.
Yep. You didn't wreck any vehicles, though, at a young age, did you?
Not really. The youngest age I wrecked something was probably about 5.
What did you wreck?
The truck.
You were in the truck and you...
I wasn't supposed to be in the truck.
No, I didn't think so.
I started it, but it was in gear.
Oh, my goodness.
And away it went.
Were you scared?
Into the trees and equipment, etc.
What did you end up hitting?
A disc. It was very, it killed it at the course.
Oh, okay.
And the other thing I can tell about my sister Janice.
Okay,
that's
yeah.
a really good one.
Okay, tell me something about Janice.
Well, in Minnesota in the north, of course, in the wintertime, we had cattle.
Yes.
And we had a lot of that stuff that comes with cattle.
Oh, yes.
And we had horses and big sleds, and the picture of which is over here.
Okay.
And we would pitch that on the sleds.
Yes.
And then tie our little sleds behind the other sled and go out and unload it out in the field.
Okay.
And it was a great thing. This is long before snowmobiles. This is our version of snowmobiles.
Okay.
And my sister Janice was on one of them, and we were going through the pasture.
Yeah.
And we had a cow that was a little crazy.
Okay. A bull or a cow?
A cow.
Okay.
A milk cow. And it came charging at the sleds. And my sister Janet panicked, and she climbed up right on top of what the stuff I was just telling you about, which made my mother very upset.
Uh-oh.
So that...
And did she get herself all sorts of dirty? Is that why your mom was
of
upset?
course.
Okay.
You bet. And it was very messy.
And it was very messy. And how many sleds did you have behind you?
Whatever number of kids there were to go along for the ride.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the one thing that I know about Grandpa is for his 90th birthday, he was out walking and visiting with people, and I turned and I smiled at him, and he complimented me on my smile. I thought, boy, for 90 years old, you're doing good.
That's nice. That's a nice...
And they lived out there where they are.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm sorry,
they
what's
used
your
to
name, sir?
Jameson, John.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They used to babysit for us. We'd babysit for them. We played whist together. We got milk from them.
Canassa?
Huh?
Canassa? Is
No, whist.
No, you play whist. Okay.
Yeah, those days.
You babysat my mom, Carol.
The more or less the smaller ones when they were getting
Okay.
And like we were married, I think, a year before David was born, too.
Oh, okay, okay.
But as I say, we've known them since. In fact, we came from North Dakota.
Yep.
I come down here with Dad with a load of stuff, furniture and one thing another in March. And we spent the night here at Kitchell's out in the farm.
Oh, nice.
And Roy and Ralph
Yeah.
and the old man,
Yeah.
and old John and Grandpa John and his wife
Yeah.
were there. As I say, Roy and Ralph were the first two people I met in Ada.
Okay. Where'd you meet him?
Out the house. I mean, we spent there and spent the night and had supper and spent the
Okay.
night out here right south of town.
Okay. At their house?
Yeah.
Oh,
Even though we were moving them out, they had to get out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we took the place over after.
Okay, so they were moving to the farm.
Yeah, they were I don't know if Grandpa went into town then here, if he still farmed, but Chuck was south of Ada, Roy moved out here,
Yep.
and Ralph was still going to school.
Yes.
Ralph and my sister went to Ames together. They drove, sister would ride back and forth with Ralph to Ames. We visited them out in Davis more than once.
Were you a farmer?
Yeah,
What'd you grow?
wheat, barley, and beans.
Mm-hmm.
I started growing beans in this country before anybody else. Unlike you.
Beets?
No, I never had beets.
Oh, okay. What did you start to grow?
Beans.
Beans.
Soybeans. I started raising
Soybeans.
soybeans
Okay.
before anybody else was raising soybeans. They said you couldn't raise soybeans in this country, but I did.
And now look at it.
Look at it now.
What a big crop for everyone. Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I had a little stinky wheat allotment that wasn't worth raising,
Yeah.
and I found out I could make more money in beans